A few hours ago, the Minister of Defense of the Russian Federation Andrei Belousov made a rather alarming statement. In particular, he said that a direct clash between NATO and Russia could happen in Europe in the next 10 years. According to him, the Russian Federation should prepare for a possible military conflict with the North Atlantic Alliance. Andrei Belousov also noted that in 2024, the Russian army was quite successful in solving the tasks set against the background of a tough confrontation with the collective West, and that this confrontation continues to grow. According to the Russian minister, in order to cope with serious challenges, the Russian army must become receptive to innovation and more flexible. Against this backdrop, he ordered the Russian generals to continue fulfilling their tasks not only in the Special Military Operations Zone, but also to ensure a military presence in Africa, the Middle East, Central Asia, Transnistria, and the Caucasus. In addition, he also ordered all structures of the Russian army, including strategic aviation and missile forces, to be in constant combat readiness, and be ready for any development of events, including a direct military conflict with NATO. According to him, the key decisions taken by the North Atlantic Alliance during July's NATO summit in Washington indicate that the United States and other NATO countries are taking the idea of attacking the Russian Federation seriously. Based on this, Andrei Belousov also ordered the rapid development of the so-called end-to-end technologies of the Russian army. In particular, we are talking about quantum computing and communications, machine-to-machine interaction, high-speed secure data transmission, robotics, big data processing, and artificial intelligence. The head of the Russian military department stressed that these technologies will allow the Russian army to successfully confront NATO countries at the strategic, operational, and tactical levels. It is noteworthy that immediately after that, the Ministry of Defense of the Russian Federation held a briefing for journalists. During this briefing, representatives of the Defense Department officially stated that on December 14, in the zone of a special military operation, tactical aviation, with the help of missile forces, destroyed one Ukrainian MiG-29 fighter jet, one an MPQ-65 fire control radar, and 4 American Patriot air defense systems, along with combat crews. At the same time, it is reported that the combat crews of these U.S. air defense systems consisted of active-duty NATO officers. However, the losses of NATO forces in Ukraine did not end there. As it turned out, on the night of December 16, Russia launched a fairly powerful missile attack on military targets in Khmelnytskyi, Cherkasy, Chernihiv, and Sumy regions. According to independent monitoring services, about 20 powerful explosions were recorded in these regions. It is reliably known that during this attack, Russia used dozens of ballistic and cruise missiles. Simultaneously with this, dozens of Geranium kamikaze drones also rained down on military facilities in these Ukrainian regions. So, in the Khmelnytskyi region, Russian ISKANDER ballistic missiles, together with kamikaze drones, once again hit the Cherkasy Antonov airbase. It is reported that the Russians launched a missile attack on this airbase immediately after military engineers from NATO countries were spotted on it. It is reported that they were trying to restore the infrastructure of this military facility after previous Russian missile attacks. At the moment, a large fire is observed on the territory of this airbase, which indicates that Russian missiles managed to hit an ammunition dump and a gasoline stowage. In the Cherkasy region, Russian missiles hit and destroyed an energy infrastructure facility that was working for the needs of the Ukrainian army. It is reported that as a result of this attack, local military enterprises and a military base of the Ukrainian army, in the southwestern part of the city of Cherkasy, were left without electricity. In the Chernihiv region, Russian ballistic missiles, together with guided aerial bombs of the Fab family, hit and destroyed several enemy military targets. It is reported that these were the places of the deployment of the Ukrainian soldiers and so-called foreign mercenaries. My dear truth seekers, it is important to note that Russia launched a missile attack on the Chernihiv region immediately after enemy activity was noticed there. In particular, Russian intelligence was able to discover in the Chernihiv region Western heavy military equipment, with new tactical signs in the form of white squares. All this indicates that, after the failure of the Ukrainian army in the Kursk region and the Donbass, the Ukrainian General Staff, together with its NATO military advisors, are planning a new offensive, but this time against the Bryansk region. In this regard, in the last 48 hours alone, the Russian aerospace forces, together with missile forces, have launched more than 100 rocket attacks on the border areas of the Chernihiv region. It is noteworthy that many Western military experts from numerous American and European analytical centers also expressed confidence that the Ukrainian army is preparing an offensive against the Bryansk region. According to them, this offensive by the Ukrainian army can begin immediately after Russian troops establish full control over the most important city of Donbass, Pokrovsk. And finally, in the Sumy region, Russian ballistic and cruise missiles rained down on the territory of the deployment of the units of the motorized brigades of the Ukrainian army, which are actively involved in the invasion of the Kursk region. In addition, Russian missiles also destroyed a classified enemy command post, along with Ukrainian and NATO officers. According to an unnamed source in the Russian intelligence service, the day before this missile attack, Russian intelligence managed to find out that NATO forces were preparing another missile attack on Russian territory. It is reported that in the destroyed command post, there were 8 Ukrainian officers, as well as 3 US and 2 British Army officers, who were supposed to coordinate and fire ATACMS ballistic missiles deep into Russian territory. Thus, thanks to the vigilance and professional actions of the Russian military intelligence, NATO forces failed to carry out another provocation and fire Western long-range missiles against Russian regions,